very interesting event, and my apologies that I cannot be with you today in presence, so that I have to connect virtually. So I will try to share my presentation.
Thomas.
I'm Thomas Schleker. I'm working as policy officer in DG Research and Innovation of the European Commission, responsible for hydropower research and innovation. The political guidelines of the von der Leyen II Commission set out by Ursula von der Leyen are to have really a new European prosperity plan. This is a lot about making business easier and deepening our single market, but importantly also to build a clean industrial deal, to decarbonize and bring down energy prices. And research innovation is really recognized as being as the heart of our economy. Then, in line with what you discussed also, I think today, importantly at this conference, also important to boost productivity with digital tech diffusion and to invest massively in our sustainable competitiveness. And there's also an important link to skills and labor in this respect. So, building a competitiveness, decarbonized and circular economy with a fair transition to all, and having a bold industrial strategy with innovation and investment at its heart are main messages here. Now, the Commission presented in the first quarter 25 a competitiveness compass for the European Union. And there are really, this is inspired very much by the Draghi report also, with an importance to strengthen, recognized importance to strengthen our investment in growth and innovation. And it is really seen that there are major important pillars, the decarbonisation going hand in hand with competitiveness, circularity and reducing our raw material dependency from abroad, and importantly, closing the innovation gaps. So those are really strategic pillars, which are then, of course, in conjunction, there are other important factors like you see on the slide, like, for example, skills, quality of jobs, or simplification of regulation. Now, by putting research innovation at the heart of our economy, it's really important to also increase our research spending in strategic areas and also to invest in strategic technologies, and clean tech is one important sector there. Now, the Clean Industrial Deal presented also recently is a joint roadmap for competitiveness and decarbonization. It will mobilize over 100 billion to support EU-made clean manufacturing, and recognizing that by 2030 the European clean manufacturing market is projected to grow by around 100 billion, and this will create around 500,000 new jobs. As a policy, the Clean Industrial Deal will stay in course on the goals set out in the European Green Deal. So I think you're all aware about the European Green Deal with the ambition to become climate neutral in 2050, and then also a big focus on environmental sustainability, for example, biodiversity, on socio-economic sustainability by providing a just and inclusive transition, and of course also by helping our companies to be economically fit for the market. So there were important packages, of course. I have no time to dive into this in detail, but of course all the measures in the Fit for 55 package in Repower EU. And then of course we have also other important things which are very relevant for hydropower. I mentioned the EU taxonomy. I will come to that later still. And also on the market side, the revision of the EU electricity market design, which I would like to mention, and in respect of our of maintaining and fostering European value chains, also the Net Zero Industry Act together with the Critical Raw Materials Act. Now, the focus is here really to focus on implementing existing legal framework by 2030 and achieving the emission reduction. And if we think now about the EU to present the detailed Net Zero Industry Act, as I said, this is to strengthen the European value and supply chain by simplifying the regulatory framework for net zero technologies, by scaling up manufacturing of those technologies, and by keeping our industry and making it competitive. Now, on public and private investments, EU needs to increase its annual investment in energy, industrial innovation and scale-up and transport system. For this is planned also a competitiveness fund, which will offer strong support to innovative industry for sustainable investments in the next multi-annual financial framework, and a one-stop shop simplifying access to EU fundings. And besides other measures, the Commission will also launch a flagship Horizon Europe call of around 600 million under the 26-27 work program to support fit for deployment projects. So to sum up this basically competitiveness related policy part, competitiveness plays for this Commission a very important role by stimulating investments in industry while going hand in hand with continuing to accelerating decarbonization. Now, before I will come on to the energy specific things, on sustainability, there are also very important policy initiatives. So the Commission is currently working on the development of a European water resilience strategy for strengthening Europe's water security. And importantly, this will be also by addressing adaptation to climate change. So you see here three specific objectives. First, to restore and protect the water cycle, then to ensure clean and affordable water and sanitation for all, and third, to promote a competitive EU water industry as part of a clean water-wise circular economy. Now, this is, of course, building up of, let's say, the existing pillars of EU sustainability policy, which are on one side on climate and energy. We talked about the Energy Union package before, the EU strategy on adaptation to climate change here. Then on environment, we have a large set of policies, of course, in particular also on water. For investment and growth, we of course fund in Horizon Europe. Apologies for this outdated slides. It's mentioning Horizon 2020. We fund projects improving the sustainability of clean energy generation, and the same is true also for the other pillars of Horizon Europe, where the focus is very much on sustainability. And then, of course, we have the pillar of sustainable finance, where also the taxonomy is placed as a unified EU green classification system for investments that are seen as positive and qualify as green when they contribute to at least one of those objectives mentioned there, which include things like climate change mitigation, adaptation, sustainable use of water, and circular economy, pollution prevention, and a healthy ecosystem. Now, if we go to the relevant legislation for hydropower, the European Commission some years ago provided a guidance document on the requirements for hydropower in relation to EU nature legislation, which I invite you to consult. And of course here, the important key legislation is the Water Framework Directive, which aims to achieve a good qualitative and quantitative status of all water bodies by setting a framework for water management in Europe. And Besides this overview of policies, the European Union participates, by the European Commission also, of course, in the global exchange on this topic, and I would like to mention the participation in the IA Hydropower TCP, the Technology Cooperation Program on Hydropower, where I think the current work together with other participating states is on a variety of very interesting contexts, in particular also the annex, now renamed as Task 16 on hidden hydropower, where also your project participated and provided valuable input in the past already. And then we have other relevant, in particular when we think about sustainability, for example, hydropower and fish, and all the work done also in respect of climate resilience and decision-making processes, and flexibility, of course, and let's say valuing hydropower for additional services is a very important part there. We also, on renewable energy, there is a high-level policy dialogue going on between the African Union and the European Union, and the Climate Change and Sustainable Energy Partnership also includes hydropower as possible sustainable solution to increase energy access in Africa, and this is supported by the Libre project via Horizon Europe, which really fosters this collaboration. So I invite you to also get information there. It's very interesting also in respect of very local implementation of sustainable solution, also to some extent in an off-grid context or in a new established grid connection, so it can be very interesting to look at that. If we come back to Europe, the Strategic Energy Technology Plan is actually the European response to leverage large-scale opportunities in clean energy research and innovation, and to enhance European Union member states coordination by aligning also with the efforts done by industry. And there was last year a communication on revamping of the set plan to basically make it fit for the currency policy objectives. And this introduced significant changes by establishing also the set plan steering group in the context of the Net Zero Industry Act, and to really allow the set plan to play a key role in linking clean energy research and deployment of clean energy technologies, and by promoting cooperation between all European actors to align our research and innovation agenda for clean energy. So you see here there are specific key actions also foreseen for some of the technology, currently not for hydropower, but there are respective actions at the energy system level, for example, on resilience and security of energy system, where there's of course a high linkage to hydropower in this respect. Now, if we think about how does the Commission currently see the status of the European hydropower sector? So recently, and for the first time in the yearly Competitiveness Progress Report of Clean Energy Technologies, hydropower was assessed, and I invite you to consult this report, which provides really the current status of the technology from a strategic point of view. Some main messages there are: it is important to maintain EU's global leadership in hydropower technology and innovation. Upgrading and refurbishing existing hydropower installations is an important priority, with a focus on sustainability, grid flexibility and storage. And investment in research and innovation is essential to remain competitive against global players, also including China. and maintaining and strengthening the skills and expertise within the European Union's hydropower sector is critical for its long-term competitiveness. Now, if we come to, I would like to briefly come to Horizon Europe, the current EU Research Innovation Program, still running until 27. As you know, it's organized in a three-pillar structure. I will focus on Pillar 2, where energy localized in the cluster on climate, energy, and mobility. Now, the overall vision foresees that Horizon Europe, of course, should contribute to achieving sustainable development goals, also to tackle climate change. And I think for hydropower, this is always very relevant. We support sustainable hydropower, and there is a variety of SDGs connected to that. Of course, on energy for all, but then also on clean water, no poverty, etc. So I think this is very important also in respect for the focus of the discussion here. Then recently, of course, there came in an additional mandate to contribute also to Repower EU to make the European energy sector independent of Russian gas and oil, and our work program contributes to, of course, diversifying energy supply, accelerating the rollout of renewable energy, and also to save energy and to increase energy efficiency. Then also there are cross-cutting EU missions, which are a new way to bring concrete solutions to some of our greatest challenges. And these EU missions have ambitious goals and will deliver tangible results by 2030. So they are novelty in Horizon Europe. Now, the EU mission on climate neutral and smart cities will involve local authorities, citizens, business, investors, as well as regional and national authorities. And around 100 climate neutral and smart cities participated in this, also including Padova in the European Union, and I think 12 or around this number are from associated countries. And the mission foresees that the EU mission is that these cities should ensure that they are basically experimentation and innovation hubs to enable all European cities to follow suit by 2050 in becoming climate neutral and smart. And there is actually also a mission label as an important milestone in the city's work, and it acknowledges the successful basically implementation, and was currently at the current state, it is actually 53 cities achieved this cities mission label. Now, if we come to hydropower specifically, I would like to how we support hydropower research and innovation. These are actually the projects funded in the Pillar 2 of Horizon 2020. And you see there, of course, I cannot go in detail, but several aspects tackled from technology development and sustainability over flexibility. But we already had an increase in funding from FP7 to Horizon 2020 from 10 to 40 million euro. And currently, these are the topics up to now. You know, Horizon Europe will still run until 27. So up to now, we reached already an EU contribution from 40 million euro. And you see in the second topic here, development of hydropower equipment of fitting hydropower is, of course, the H-Hope project there. Then we have projects on digitalization, sustainability, refurbishment, and also on pumped storage in this respect. I would like to invite you to participate in the hybrid Horizon Europe Info Day for Cluster 5, so you can also connect virtually to that one, where the work program 25 will be presented to you, and as a next step, of course, we are currently in the preparation of the last work program 26-27, and the preparation of the next framework program, where you should have more information during the summer after decision on the multi-annual financial framework program, on which public consultation is currently still online, and where there's important chapter also on competitiveness, on which I would also like to invite you to participate. So that was my overview, and thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.